Hi, my name is Tom Kelleher. I'm Curator of Mechanical Arts here at Old Sturbridge Village. And right now we're in our machinery storage building. It pretty much holds machinery, things like planers, saws, and a lot of oversized things like our vehicle collection. These vehicles are antiques. They have not been restored, not meant for regular use, but oftentimes the things in here are prototypes for the wheelbarrows, the wagons, the other things that we use actively in our living history programs. We have a whole lot of different things here at the machinery storage building, including the sign from our meeting house. The meeting house we have here at Old Sturbridge Village was built in 1832 on the real town of Sturbridge Common, but 6 years later in 1838, the Baptist Society accepted an offer by the Fisk family, who had built a large textile factory in a part of Sturbridge that's now called Fiskdale, to move the Baptist church there. And the Baptist church stopped being used for regular active worship in the 1920s, and so it sat vacant for a couple decades before Old Sturbridge Village acquired it. But when we acquired the church, we acquired its sign. We have a lot of vehicles here in machinery storage, a lot of sleighs, because sleighs tend to survive better than wheeled vehicles, since they're usually only used for a few months of the year and then kept indoors the rest of the time. And this sleigh is a hearse sleigh from Oakham, Massachusetts. People died in the wintertime as well as the summer, and so some towns not only had a wheeled hearse, we have a wheeled hearse from Thompson, Connecticut in the far background there, but this sleigh hearse from Oakham, Massachusetts. One of our more recent acquisitions, we got this a few years ago, is a circa 1820 double breaker card. It's for brushing out wool. This was actually made in Holden, Massachusetts, in the Jefferson section of Holden, by a man named Christopher Dryden, probably in the early 1820s. It actually came from the American Textile History Museum that went out of business several years ago, but it most recently had been in Lowell, Massachusetts. The interesting thing about this machine is that museum, the now defunct American Textile History Museum, bought this machine from the same family that Old Sturbridge Village bought our Hapgood carding mill from, the Hamlin family. The Hamlins kept this in a barn and had the machines in our mill that we still use. A lot of what we have here in machinery storage are the prototypes for working reproductions we use on a regular basis in the village. For example, here we have the nut mill, the machinery from the Hutchins cider mill that is used to crush or grind up the apples used in making cider. This large gear here is what's horse-powered and then, or ox-powered sometimes, and that drives this machinery that has wheels or big wooden drums with teeth or nuts that mesh like gears meshing and take apples and crush them as they're fed between them. Well, here among blacksmiths' anvils and vices and things like that, we have a lot of mill parts. This here is a gudgeon, part of an axle in a large mill, like for a water wheel. The iron, cast iron journal that would actually bear the weight of the whole water wheel, and then these wings here would fit into the ends of a log, iron bands put on hot around them to shrink them in place and hold this into the end of a large wooden log to make a water wheel axle. And this here with a wing gudgeon and a crank is for an up and down sawmill, where you'd have the turning of the water wheel and then the crank would take that and make the saw through that go up and down, just like a bicycle pedal is on cranks to take the up and down of your legs and make it the round and round of the bicycle. Sometimes I feel here in machinery storage like a used car salesman, because we've got printing presses, we've got textile machines, we've got table saws, we've got lathes, we've got planing machines. So thank you for joining us for this whirlwind tour of machinery storage at Old Sturbridge Village.